Hello, my name is Will, and I am here to give you some summer music tips. This summer is going to be my third summer being a full-time music teacher. And what tends to happen in the summer is people tend to drop out of music lessons because they're doing other things during the summer. This causes a bit of a problem when we get back to September when everybody restarts and realizes I don't remember a thing. People tend to lose a little bit of their abilities during the summer because they are not using their abilities. So, first things first. My first tip about summer and music is that you need to remember that music is very much like a language or even like an exercise routine. If you're not using music, so if you're not practicing your singing, practicing your piano, your flute, whatever it is that you're supposedly doing, you're going to lose it in very large increments as well. You know, even the most advanced people in music will find that if they don't sing for a long period or perform for a long period, they're not able to perform at the level they used to perform at because they're out of practice. So, make sure you are practicing this summer. Tip number one. Tip number two. I don't know, I just thought I'd try something different. Tip number two. Okay, fine, you're not taking lessons and you need to practice this summer, but you want to definitely have fun with everyone and hang out with your family, and you really don't want to make this a hard summer by practicing all the time. What can you do? Well, in general, what I tell people is if you're not taking lessons, you really should try to practice anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour at least 5 to 6 days a week. Why? Why? Well, think of it this way. When you're using your brain, which I hope you use all the time, you don't have a choice, you use it anyways. But anyways, when you're using your brain to understand music, you're using such a large portion of your brain that really doing anything less than a half hour when you're not really doing anything, like you're not working towards a concert, you're not working towards lessons, is the only way to keep your brain engaged. This means that you're going to need to go ahead and take an initiative. Singers, you need to figure out a song that you've always wanted to sing, or a genre that you've never done before, and start learning some music there. Make sure to use your technique that you've been working on the entire time. Piano players, this means that you need to at least maintain, that means stay at the same level at the last song you were working in at your lessons on your repertoire. Repertoire just means the songs that you're working on. I know we use fancy words, but it's not that fancy, I promise. Or you need to find something you want to play. Now, this becomes a little bit difficult for my piano students as opposed to my voice students. Voice students, you turn on the radio, hear a song. Okay, you're good. Piano students, they turn on the radio, hear a song, want to play it, but most of my piano students are intermediate beginner piano, meaning that they can't read the chord charts, or the songs when you get them printed out are actually a little bit complicated. So my solution for you would really be to go ahead and look for what would be called an easy piano book. It'll either say easy piano book or beginner piano book in a type of music that you like. So I have, again, I teach all age groups. The majority of my piano students right now happen to be, I'd say 12 and under. I have some that are, it's kind of funny. I have 12 and under, and then I have like 60 and over, and there's not really a lot. There might be one person in between. But anyways, so what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and find a book that says easy piano or beginner piano. I know a lot of my students have been using Disney because Disney is actually really easy in that you can get the tune in your head. So the tune in your head plus your eyes reading the notes equals success, as opposed to something a bit more complicated like listening to jazz. Not that jazz is bad, jazz has its place, but a lot of people don't listen to it, so getting the tune in their head, reading the notes in front of them equals crash because it just isn't working. But anyway, so looking for easy or beginner. If you feel like you are ready for a challenge, you can always go online. There are fantastic resources. I'm actually on one, Sheet Music Plus. I have some compositions there, but there's a lot of people who do that have arrangements for beginner, easy, intermediate. Look there, see if you can find something there. You could look at Music Notes, I believe is the name, musicnotes.com, or go to your local music store. They all have printed music for you. But really that's what you're looking for, this easy/beginner music. My flute players, I have one, two. I had two this year. One that I just finished with for the summer. Again, I don't really have anybody that I would say is past the intermediate or advanced level, so we're still talking about basic and beginner. You guys have an interesting choice here. Again, I would still look for, beginner, intermediate, or if you decide you find a song that you like on the radio, if you buy the actual sheet music for that, flute players tend to play the melody, so you would just be playing the vocal line. No, seriously though, that's one of the interesting things about the flute is, a lot of the times they are playing melodies, so if you're looking for things to work on by yourself, what you're really doing is you're looking to learn melodies and play melodies. Okay, so that is number 2. Can you believe that was only number 2? Oh my goodness. All right, number 3. Let's work on your ear training a little bit. What I would love for my students to do, and for everybody who's watching who is trying to follow me on YouTube, use your ear to figure out some melodies this summer. Again, singers do it all the time because we don't have any buttons. See, it's not like I can go la 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 la. No, that doesn't work. But listen to a simpler song, even if it's a nursery rhyme. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. And I want you to try to use your ear to figure out where it is. So for piano players, listen to a song a couple of times. See if you can match the first note of the song to the placement on the keyboard. Really work on that ear skill. What that's going to do is by training your reading, which is what we're doing already, so reading the notes, and training your ear, which is hearing everything ahead of time, you can actually, in a sense, start to hear a song that you've never played before just by reading and looking at the music. That sounds absolutely nuts. What am I talking about? Well, seriously, if you can listen to a song and match the pitches in that song on an instrument as well as singing it, and you can read it, you can take that skill and kind of transform it and take it to the next level. So if I hand you a piece that has notes on it, instead of you looking at it going A, C sharp, E, what does that sound like? You would immediately identify it as an A major chord, and you would hear in your head, because you've been working on your ear, do, mi, so, because guess what? You've been working on that, right? So that's what I'm saying. Take this time, work on your ear a little bit. Number 4, I challenge you to explore. Explore music genres you've never explored before. I personally am from Detroit, so I grew up with a lot more Motown and R&B sounds, and then kind of got into rock and classical and all that stuff later on. So what I'm telling you to do is take a genre either completely opposite of what you're normally used to, or one you've never heard of before, and listen to it. I'm not necessarily saying learn a song from it, because maybe you don't like it, maybe you're feeling that you can't do it, which is fine. But get introduced to a type of music that you've never listened to before, and try to figure out some similarities and differences to the type of music that you have been listening to and have been playing. And lastly, my 5th challenge, and the 5th thing you can do to really make your summer music work for you instead of having to do lessons and things like that, because obviously you're on break, is I would say explore ethnomusicology. Now that is a really big fancy word that just means world music. It's interesting. We have the web, we have the internet, but we don't tend to use it for knowledge. I'm not really sure why, but you have this fantastic resource at your fingertips or on your phones or wherever else you do your interneting, to look around the world and see what's going on. I know for me, what was really cool is where I went to school, in middle school, so I was still pretty young, they offered African Drum Ensemble, which actually gave me a look into the country of Ghana. And I got to find out how they use their drums, how they made an instrument. There's actually a really cool instrument called a Gyl, G-Y-L. Look it up. It's interesting, I promise. But, by getting involved in ethnomusicology, you're finding out different things about different people in the world. You're finding out about different music instruments that they make, that they have in their life that we don't have here. And you may actually find that you like certain styles that you didn't realize were even in existence. So those are my challenges for this summer. You want to make sure you are practicing. You want to learn some new music. You want to train that ear. You want to explore a new genre, and you want to look into ethnomusicology, aka world music, different instruments. All right, guys, I'm going to try to make sure to keep up with this YouTube thing at least once a week. I apologize for last week. We were very, very busy, and I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see you later. Bye.